I'm gonna be entering the silent manga audition. So basically, main premise, if you don't know about it yet, you probably should have heard some of it, but then just a quick refresher. It's basically competition. You write manga without words, pictures, everything, no words at all. You have to convey a story within a specific amount of panels. Yeah. So basically, just you have to somehow keep it simple yet very impactful. And this is actually a quite a difficult task. I have seen a couple of YouTube videos on people who have previously entered, and it is very difficult, very time consuming, of course. And yeah, but I wanted to give myself a challenge, improve a bit. I can't just be practicing without any specific goal. The due date is the 10th of May. It is currently February, February, around February. So I have plenty of time to prepare. The theme is letters, and yeah, letters is a pretty open and yet very dangerous topic to do because having been forced to convey something in a letter while trying to minimize writing or text within a letter can be very difficult. I'd assume that the easy part would be the emotion or maybe the actions before the letters are opened or the journey of the letters, but then the emotions of the letters, trying to convey a specific emotion of what the actual letter is will be very difficult. I'd assume that the most common topics might just be love letters, wartime letters, delivering letters, just like hearing people cry and stuff. I think that will be the most popular one because it's the easiest thing to do. And in terms of whether I would be doing it, yes, because I am still a beginner and writing a romance manga about love letters is one of the easiest topics to talk about and write about, as well as it can be very forgiving in terms of I don't have to draw so many like perspective angle shots like a shonen, or and I don't have to come up with a complicated storyline like sci-fi. But if I did have a unlimited, but if I did was able to get a drawer, someone to draw the manga for me, I would actually try to put it into a horror or sci-fi type of manga where the letter, like, where like you try to destroy the letter keeps coming back, try to put a different perspective or take on it, as well as the second one of a sort of um how can I say sci-fi where whenever you open it, it rearranges the world. Well, like you can't fully open it without completely destroying and messing up the world. For example, you open it and all of a sudden the floor disappears. You like open it slightly more and then you're like transported in it. Some sort of like paradox and whatnot. Yeah, those ones would be very difficult to actually draw for my level. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible. I will show you my idea in a minute, but we can just check out the requirements beforehand because one thing in which you have to make sure whatever you have to submit has to meet the requirements. If you do end up submitting the greatest manga of all time, if it doesn't meet the requirements, you're not gonna make it in. Make it an honorable mention, but yeah, you might not make it in. Now, the rules. But the prize pool is fairly decent. Grand prize 500,000 yen, or what? What's the conversion rate to dollars? $1 is 150,000 yen. So five. So $30,000 is actually quite good. Uh, just for like a quick contest. That's a very decent prize pool, if I do say so myself. Actually fairly good. I'm not actually complaining because I don't even if the Even if I do end up with 10,000 yen, how much is 10,000 yen, man? As an honorary mention, $60, $50. That's actually good just for, practicing as a hobby. Then let's see. Introduction. Yeah, it has to be silent. The judges will direct your ability to convey a narrative through the story. Then drawing. You have to keep it in a B4 paper. Trimmed area is 220 by 310. Main content area is 110 by 270. Trim margin 20. Those are the page layouts, A4 paper, digital work, all that stuff, because there are a ton of rules you have to follow. Because I've heard some people literally got disqualified, not because of like any big thing, but because they had taken screenshots. I mean, they'd taken photos of real life places and places them there without actually owning the photos. And yeah, that's how they got disqualified. So you just have to make sure you are always reading the rules and always making sure you're prepared. But enough about that. On to my actual story. First off, we're going to be doing this in a classroom setting. Why classroom, you say? Why not outdoors? Why not a fancy, big, grand proposal? Because classroom is the easiest thing to draw. I mean, it is so simple. Like, I can just draw many rectangles. It's pretty much super easy to keep track of because you're practically in one room for most of the story, and the other rooms are pretty simple to draw, unlike having to follow buildings and stuff and like seeing random people in the area. And the main of the letter is a love letter. It will not have any text, but you'll obviously see through the emotions and the purple. Then, who are the main characters going to be? I thought about this a ton of times, and I'm not actually pretty sure myself, but what I do know is that the main girl will be trying to confess. Who she confesses to, I have no idea, whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl. I have not definitively wrapped around that idea because I'm still not sure if I should turn it into a Yuri or a what, because my idea was that it could be a Yuri where the girl rejects, but then I guess I guess, but then I also do have concepts where it is a guy who rejects. So yeah, I guess I'll just have to see what I feel like drawing at the time, um, or maybe like what I feel at the time, and then the methods of transporting the letter. She tries passing the letter, but the guy rips it. So she's passing it through the classmates one by one. She sits at the front of the other opposite side of the class. Then one by one they pass the letter, and then eventually it gets to the guy who's trying to prevent the letter from going through, and they rip it. And obviously, this fails. So she tries again, writes a new letter, but this time he tries throwing it as a paper plane to avoid the guy. But then the guy jumps up, grabs the letter, and slams it. I don't know, eats it or whatever. The second one is mainly just a paper plane. I don't know what he does with the paper, but it just has to be a paper plane because I don't know what other would thing to do. The original concept was also throwing a ball, but I thought maybe throwing a ball would be too much. Or but maybe I could. Then the last thing would be eventually she gives up, leaves to go put it in the person's locker and wait for after school. And that's where the main conflict ends. So at this point, I did have more conflicts, more panels, more scenarios, but then I thought, you know what, just stick to the page limit. Don't try to do a 50-page silent thing. You don't have to go too overboard because this is the first time, so you gotta keep it simple, keep it light because the page count has to be 17 pages or less. So this should, if I keep it efficient, this should be at least 10 to 11 pages. But then I'm trying to at least, for some scenes, if I need more or less, I could increase to 17. But yeah, most of these are just basically because each line is basically almost 2 or 3 pages. I mean, this is one, 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 for 6. Then what? Another 2 pages, two for the setup. I mean, I guess I could have 4 pages for the setup and 2 for 6, 10, and then 4 pages for the ending. So I have plenty of space. There was more stuff I wanted to add, like the boy, like the girl and the guy intercepting the letters to meet beforehand or meet in the middle to build up the connection. Maybe have interactions between the MC as well as the confessor. But then I did run out of pages, so I would have to really condense it down and really have to convey within those short amount of pages because 17 is it's a decent amount, to be honest. I just feel like my story feels more like a whole season's worth of content rather than just a mini story. Because planning this out, I had originally, this is actually my original script. When planning it in my head, when I was like converting it down, it was almost like an hour of content. So I had to pretty much simplify and condense it into a quick thing. But yeah, that's basically the main portion. But then yeah, that's it for the story. I'll be seeing you in the next section for the actual drafting of the page layout as well as the drawing of the panels. Then after that, you'll see the completed version, and then we'll have to wait for the results. So I'm not sure. I think I might just split it into 2 separate parts because I do want to take you through the process of the paneling as well as the sketching. But I'm not sure if you guys would actually be interested in watching a 30-minute or 1 hour long video. So I will just split it into 2. But that's been about it.
Alright guys, and here is the result. So we have the unseen message. It is a bit rough in terms of the title page as well as the actual manga because yeah man, like this drawing stuff was actually kind of hectic, to be honest man. Like it was so crazy that I wasn't even able to properly finish it. Most of the panels are very rough. They are very much big mistakes such as these random dots and lines as well as this. But yeah, let's just show you the completed effort. So here's the panel. We just see November 14th. It's Valentine's Day. We see students walking on the corridor. Then we see into the classroom. The students are watching. And I missed stuff like this. The pen, I accidentally put the wrong layer there. I put the background layer above the thing, and this is the random line here, which is crazy. So yeah, that messed it up a bit. Then we have this panel, which isn't too shabby myself, to be honest. Then we have this one. She sees those two, she gets jealous, and yeah, this one, I forgot the neck over here as well as the line width is actually super variable. I also forgot a hand over here. Like, okay, let me try to explain myself on how I forgot limbs. So you see, when I was doing these things, I did a sketch. And rookie mistake that I did was that my sketch was the exact same line width as the actual drawing. So what ended up happening was that I ended up confusing some of the sketch lines for the sketch lines for the actual drawing, and I did not do the opacity until later on when I realized that it was an actual thing to reduce opacity. Now, next thing I also wanted to just mention was the line width here is absolutely atrocious, man. Like, look at how thick this line is compared to the literally the same drawing, man. Then we have this one. I tried something with the blush and the stuff. It kind of works. I personally like it. Hopefully you guys do as well. Then we have this panel in which is actually kind of decent, to be honest. Like, this is actually one of my best panels that I've actually drew here. It shows the hallway, her looking at the locker, putting the locker there, and then her leaving. Then he sees it. I don't know what this is, but then like it's supposed to be him like sighing, but then I don't know what kind of emotion that would convey. Throws it in the trash and then walks over with the girl. Then she sees it, heartbroken, cries. Panel of her ripping the letter. She's standing on the roof, looking at them down, gets angry, and starts her villain arc. So far, over here, the final panel, I will say, missed stuff, some stuff like clean up like this. This one is also extremely rough, to be honest. Like, you can clearly see that I had given up at this point with this panel, man. Like at this point, I had practically given up over here. You can see it's kind of decently shabby over here. Don't be fooled. The background is just a picture of a sky that I got from Google. I just literally Googled sky images and then just like edited it on Photoshop to just get this type of sort of image. Then after that, I just added these white lines to the corner just to give it a bit more effect. Then drew some of the papers right here. As you can clearly see, I forgot to remove one of the sketch papers that I had actually drawn over there, which is kind of unfortunate, which is actually crazy because as well as I think I also forgot to whiten this part because when I was like erasing like sort of the outline for her, I erased this section as well, but then forgot to like redraw it. As well as you can see, the original letter was supposed to be like all the way down there at her fingers, but then I ended up kind of making it look as if the letter starts from here, which is a bit iffy as well. And then yeah, we look over here, doesn't look too shabby. Paper could have been drawn much better. Yeah, the background is looking very rough. You only see one hand over there, which is also quite bad. This girl, don't be fooled. I did not draw this off by head. I was referencing some shoujo manga when referencing how to do this, which is why the hair and the art style look a bit off, because I legit even forgot my own arts, my own character designs. I did not make a character sheet before going into this. I was going in this raw. Trash bin looks aight. I could have definitely improved on the lines as well as the bins. Arm is decent enough. Those two leaving, absolute waste of a panel, to be honest. Like, it's just such a beginnerless thing, man. Like, no background. Characters looking pretty dull. Same thing. This one looks a bit more rough, but then at least it's decent. It's decent. The eyes don't fit the art style at all, but hey, I was having difficulties at this point, especially with the consistency of the uniform, because here the uniform is like blacked out, but then over here it's not blacked out. So then over here as well as it's not blacked out, so I don't even know why I blacked it out here. So it's just those inconsistencies where it's like I keep on freestyling every single panel without going back to check and just like thinking off the top of my head, and then while cross-referencing other manga or pictures that I'm looking at, I end up just copy and pasting rather than like using it as a reference. for example, you see this thing where like the sailor uniform strap thing. That was actually like I colored it in because one of the page references I was looking at, they were the sailor uniforms, and one of it was like, that's why I blacked it out thinking that. But then I had forgotten that previously, before, I had established it to be more of a sort of a jersey that they wear. So yeah, that's also like something to take in mind of next time, which is just make sure sketches are like a bit more light, a bit lower the opacity, as well as make sure that the layers are properly set up, line width is improved upon, as well as constantly to check previous panels and adjust, because like the limit is 16 pages and I only have 8 pages right now, so I drew half the amount of pages which is needed, and yeah, which is actually very bad for me because yikes, I could have put more depth in this thing. I did cut out a lot of content from the draft, but then I just got super tired from drawing this many panels. It is February, I know, and the actual comp deadline is in May, and I still have tons of time to actually polish up everything, but you gotta understand, man, like I don't have that much free time, and I'm planning on entering other competitions as well, so I might come back to it. I think I won't, but we'll just see what feedback they give me. And yeah, there are just a few issues like this which I forgot to raise. Hands looking like claws. I am very proud of this. As you can see, I forgot to remove the sketch lines off of this one, which is very unfortunate. I am very proud of this sitting image because I had worked really hard on this one, mainly because this is like the classic MC head turn in which almost every single manga has, so it was very easy to just reference it. This one was also very easy to reference. This was actually a reference where somebody had a book in their hand from a manga, but then I had just substituted the book for a letter, which is why the letter looks slightly off, because I was basically just using it as a one-to-one reference. There's some issues with the line art here. Sketch lines that are not fully completed out, like there's supposed to be shadows here, but then as well as a blush here, but then I forgot to do the line art for it, as well as over here I was supposed to darken the board, but then yeah, it is what it is, man. There is time to improve upon it, but I'm not feeling it, man. Like I'm just thinking like, yeah, been there, done that. It crashed and it burned, but we move on, we recover, and we keep on fighting for the next one. For those of you who actually want to read it, you can just pause the video and take screenshots or something. I am not confident to say that I will post it separately, but yeah, here is the final product. And there it is. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to stick around to catch out for more manga making videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.